AMD was secretly overclocking your computer. Elon Musk, he's on the board Twitter now, and Unreal Engine releases Unreal Engine 5. Before we get into the hot news today, I want to talk to you about the fact that we're streaming right now over on Twitch our meme review. We're adjusting a few things. We're going to tweak a little bit about how we do meme review. We'd love if you come and join us and review some of the hottest tech memes that are out on the internet. We're only live for an hour, so as soon as this video goes live, come join us. Or after you finish watching this video, or do both at the same time. You can multi-brain task. I believe in you. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news while you enjoy your breakfast. And we're going to start off today talking about an issue that's been popping up in AMD's graphic drivers. Yes, my friends, your GPU has been secretly overclocking your CPU through AMD's Adrenalin software. This is a bug that AMD is now acknowledging, where AMD software suite was adjusting certain AMD processor settings for some users and was leading to, at least in mild cases, unsavory results where your computer was maybe getting a little bit too hot to shut down because your computer's not set up for overclocking and you probably shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. This was getting reported by tech outlets out there that AMD's GPU software was tweaking your CPU, and so in case you've been noticing that your PC's been a little spicy lately and you have an AMD CPU with an AMD GPU, which is probably very few people, you might want to consider at least downclocking your own CPU, or at least making sure that everything's in line until AMD issues the patch for this in their upcoming driver software. Make sure that you get all of that done, unless you have enough thermal headroom and you don't give a frick about any extra overclocking. You just want the fastest processor ever, and you just want to say thank you, AMD, for overclocking for me, because I didn't know what I was doing and you did it for me, and now my PC goes kerchoo, it's fast. And while you're saying thank you to AMD for overclocking, I'm saying thank you to ButcherBox, our today's video sponsor, my friends. This is how we get meat in my household. In fact, our ButcherBox got delivered today. This is all of the meat that my family will eat for the month, delivered straight to our door. High quality meat, grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken. We don't get the pork raised crate fee, and we also don't really get the seafood, simply because I gag every time I eat seafood. I know it's a problem with me and I need to fix it, but ButcherBox allows you to customize your own box, choosing from multiple different options and trying to find out what works best for your needs, and it's actually reasonably affordable, with ButcherBox meals coming in at less than $6 a meal. And if you use our link in the video description, you're going to get ground beef free for life as you continue your ButcherBox subscription. In every ButcherBox, you'll get 2 pounds of free 100% grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef in every order for the lifetime of your membership with ButcherBox. So you can check them out at the link in the video description. See if it meets your needs to have all of the meat for your meated needs to be meeting you at the door. That should be their slogan. I nailed that. Big thanks to ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. Check them out at the link in the video description. You're going to want to check out potentially the HD60X coming out from Elgato. They're announcing their new capture card, which looks a little sleeker, a little slimmer than the previous HD60S Plus. It's kind of very similar, where it has an HDMI in, HDMI out, and USB-C, but one of the key features here is that on top of what you got with the HD60S Plus, it now supports variable refresh rate, one of the very first capture cards from Elgato that can do such things, so you could probably just leave it plugged in case you wanted to use FreeSync or anything else that's going on with that. So it's actually a pretty good update. I'm glad that Elgato's doing it. And are you glad for crypto stunks? Mouth got stuck a little bit there. Bitcoin got stuck too. It's down 2% on the day to be at 45,580. Ethereum got stuck even more, down 2.97% to be at 34.14. And Dogecoin didn't get stuck at all. It's up 15%, 17.2 cents. Huh? What do you know? Once Elon Musk becomes the king of Twitter, everything just goes crazy. Dogecoin's worth more than Bitcoin, and that's just the way it's going to be forever and ever. The way it's going to go forever and ever is I bring you the hottest tech deals out on the internet, brought to you by Reese. We got some hot UFD deals going on. You can check out our website at the link in the video description. It's updated daily with the freshest tech deals, but the Cooler Master NR200's on sale for $79 right now, 31% off. The Gigabyte RX 6500 XT, which I know I crap on this GPU a lot, but it's in stock on Amazon for only $240. That's not a terrible price considering how much other things have been poached and scalped. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It only has an HDMI and a DisplayPort out, kind of, but it's $240. So if you've been looking for a lower end GPU, maybe check this out over on Amazon. Maybe you could check out Unreal Engine 5, because Epic officially launched it yesterday, with it coming out nearly 2 years after it was first announced. It's the updated engine that's going to be running a whole host host of new games, including the upcoming Witcher Saga game. And in case you want to experience it for yourself on your PC, the Unreal Engine Matrix Experience demo is now available on PC. It's called the City Sample, where you can potentially play around with it. And if you're looking to develop an Unreal Engine 5, this could be a good entry point to that. It doesn't have all of the Matrix characters from the game that debuted on the PlayStation 5, but you can play around with it on PC in case you want. And Crystal Dynamics announcing that there's a new Tomb Raider game in the works that's also going to be based on Unreal Engine 5. Crystal Dynamics is the company that rebooted Tomb Raider, the much critically acclaimed Tomb Raider reboot trilogy. So that's kind of exciting. A lot of games going to be on Unreal Engine 5, and a lot of cars are going to be on batteries. And Lexus is teasing their first electric vehicle, but it's got a yoke. Oh man, my mouth. Very similar to the upcoming Toyota BRX or BRZX. What's the freaking code? BZ4X. How did I not remember that? Anyways, it looks very similar. I honestly personally prefer the design of this to the yoke steering wheel that's on the Tesla new Model X and Model S, but you can let me know what you think of this yoke down below in the comments. Lexus not really giving us a whole lot of information about price or anything, but they're saying they want it to have a cruising range of roughly 400 miles and then a 0 to 60 time of roughly 2 seconds, and probably it's going to cost a heaping metric butt ton of cash. But while we're talking about electric vehicle companies, Elon Musk getting appointed to the board, Twitter's board of directors is the order I'm trying to go in. We talked about this in yesterday's episode of Hot News that Elon Musk bought 9% of Twitter's share, making him the largest shareholder. I mentioned the fact that I could probably get on the board, and that's in fact what got announced. He's going to be a Class 2 director, which is not the highest tier, and his term will be up in 2024. And it also limits the amount of Twitter stock that he can hold at any one time. Twitter also saying that they're not necessarily going to give preference to Elon Musk, even if he's on the board of directors. So if he violates the rules, they're just going to change the rules so he didn't violate the rules. Trust me, if a major company gets a substantial investment from one of the world's richest people and then says, we're not going to do anything different, they're kidding themselves. They're lying to themselves to try to make themselves feel better about the infusion of cash. My friends, things influence you. I don't see how Elon Musk couldn't possibly influence Twitter, especially if he does something wrong, and he's the largest shareholder. Am I just crazy? Or is this the reality that we're living in, where like the people actually think this and they believe it to be true, that Elon Musk will have no influence on what's going on, even if he breaks the rules? Let me know down below in the comments. And we talked about in a previous episode of Hot News how some of you breaking Netflix's rules, sharing your passwords, trying to get by not paying for your own Netflix subscription. Well, it turns out that the US Netflix is not going to be charging you for that, like we talked about, where they were testing this out in different regions, roughly adding $3 a month per extra user that you have on your Netflix account. It's just not happening in the US as of right now. It doesn't mean it'll never happen, but the US Netflix operation saying, hey, just relax, we're not going to charge you for that, okay? But in case you bought a graphics card recently, you probably got charged a heck ton for it. It turns out that graphics card companies are making money hand over fist. Graphics card shipments, they grew nearly 30% to 50 million graphics cards in 2021, which accounts for roughly $51 billion in the AIB market. Just a lot of graphics card sales happening, a lot of cash being made from every graphics card transaction. We talked about in a previous episode of Hot News that NVIDIA said that consumers on average are paying roughly $300 more per card, which is just good for everybody's bottom line besides yours. But hey, at least you get to enjoy Elden Ring. Even if you can't find the maidens, you can find the frame rate. But you can't find me here anymore with Hot News, because this episode is over. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode of Hot News. If you're still watching, come check us over on Twitch doing meme review. We'd love to have you there.